Alright, so welcome to the chaos. It is my workshop. What I've got in front of me is a door. It's kind of obvious. This is a reclaimed pine door. So we're changing all the doors in the house to something that we like a bit better. Something that's, got a bit of character to it. We've got some old panel doors. They're not the real wood ones. They're the ones you can buy sort of cheaply from DIY shops. And they're getting replaced with these. And this is pine, basically. As you can see, it's got a stain on it. And the problem with reclaimed doors is if you get them, we got these 3, so we got 6, which is enough, more or less, to do the entire house. So all the bedrooms and that, and places where we've got doors and what have you. So we got 6 of them, and we got them free. You're not always lucky, you don't always get them for free, but a lot of people do put solid wood doors on for free. Now you've got a few things to consider. Size being probably one of the main considerations. So the 6 doors that we got free, I went through and I measured them all. So top to bottom and then horizontal measurement. And then I went around the house and I measured all the door frames that we've got, or all the doors that we've currently got. And I've been round and I've measured them up and matched them up as best as possible. So some of the doors we got, so some of the reclaimed ones, I'm going to have to adjust slightly. So I'm going to have to reduce the width. I think a couple of them I might even have to reduce the height slightly. This one is almost perfect width-wise, so that's great. The problem it has is it's a short door, and this one's going on our bathroom. So I'm going to have to add a strip to this of about 10mm, which I'm going to put along the bottom there. And you won't see it because I'll make it out of, well, I've got bits of wood from other doors and various other things, but I'll put that process on a bit later. Another thing to consider is it's already been used. So where the hinges are, so this one's got hinge cut here, just there, it's got a hinge cut, and then the same down there. So you've got to consider the way the door opens, compare it to the one that you've got. I'm trying to remember now. This one will be fine with the hinges on the side here. Just there they are. So this will open the same way as the bathroom door does at the moment. If not, I've got 2 options. I either put the hinges on this side, so I've got good wood to work with, or I adjust that. And what I would do, and what I have done in the past, is where the hinge is, I've just cut this piece of the door out, put the new hinge on, and then filled the gap with a very thin piece of wood. So you have to consider that. The chances of your door, or the one you want replacing, matching up with your reclaimed door first time are very slim on the hinges. And then you've got this. So this is obviously where the latch was. And I think this door might have originally been in a bathroom, because although it's got no handle, it did have the latch and the lock in it. And the lock is one of the ones you get for bathrooms, so you turn it. It's got like a mortise comes out and you turn it by hand. So we've still got the mechanism, and I've now got 2 options. I can either go out and buy a new handle, which I'm not going to do, because we're going to use the original. Our house is from the 1950s and we still have the original Bakelite handles. So I'm going to reuse the Bakelite handle, and here I'm either going to make a new latch, or you can actually buy the thumb ones. They're about £6 or £7, and they come with everything you need, the bar that goes through it and everything. But I don't know yet. I'm still toying with the idea of making one. But the main thing I've got to do at the moment is get it stripped. Now you can buy reclaimed doors that are already stripped. They tend to be quite pricey though. And as I said, we got these free, and I did look at having the stain taken off them, and it was about £30 or £40 a door. So I thought, well, I'll just do it by hand. I'll sand them. It's a bit more work, granted, but the overall finish will be the same. We're going to wax these in a dark sort of oak colour, which matches the rest of the house. Obviously here I've got to start these, but I've done, you can see the front of the door, or this side of the door. I've got to do the other side. So yeah, so that's the sort of things to consider when you've got to, or going for reclaimed doors. So you've got to consider hinges and where they are in comparison to the door that you've already got, the one you want to replace, and your catches and stuff. This will be fine, but I will have to adjust the actual where the striker plate is on the door frame, no doubt, and I'm probably going to have to adjust the hinges slightly, so that'll just be either maybe a bit further up or a bit further down. It depends. To strip the door, you've got options. You've got paint stripper, so you can buy the stuff. You've seen it used various times. I know Nitromores do one. There's various other things, and you have mixed results with that. And the thing with that is that depending on what sort of finish you've got. Now, this is some kind of stain varnish type stuff. I did try to strip one with a heat gun. I've got a heat stripper, but that didn't do anything at all. And it's quite a dark stain, and using paint stripper or stain remover could have ended up being almost the price of a new door. And to buy a door like this currently in most of the DIY shops and online and that I looked, you're looking at about somewhere between sort of 60 quid, 50, 60, up to £70. The irony of it is I can buy a new door for sort of 50, 60 pounds. If I want a 4-panel pine door that's been reclaimed, it'll probably cost me 80. But that's because they've obviously factored in stripping it as well. So yeah, you've got paint strippers, you've got heat guns, but I'm just using good old-fashioned brute force, I guess. So I've got a belt sander here with a belt in it. That's a 60 grit belt, and that will strip the door fairly quickly. And then what I'll do is, once it's completely stripped, I will go over it with my orbital sander with finer grades of sandpaper until it gets to a finish that I want. And then we're ready for waxing, and that will be that. So I'm going to get on and strip this. Unfortunately, because this is a panel door, it's got a profile here, and you can see the beading as well, this moulding here. I've got very few options with this, so basically with this bit it's good old-fashioned sanding block and sandpaper where I can. So I can do most of the stripping with the belt sander and the orbital sander, but in here I can use a detail sander, but to be honest with you, I've not found any that are very good, and it's a small enough area that doing it by hand isn't that much of an issue. So yeah, stripping it's fine, but those are a few things to consider when buying a door, a reclaimed door. I mean, obviously, again, another thing to think about is you can see where the screw holes for the original handle set are. So I might have to fill these, or I might cover them. I have on one of the other doors that we've got in the house, I actually made like a wooden finger plate, kind of like that covered the whole lot, and it looks quite nice because you can shape it, and you can use a router on the edge and sort of make them nice and what have you. So yeah, there's one reclaimed door. I've already done one. That one's put in the kitchen. That's awaiting the wax finish once we decide on what colour we actually want. And this one, again, it'll just get sanded back to bare wood, finished, so it's nice and smooth, and then we will wax it. We're probably going to go, like I said, with a dark oak wax, because that kind of is in keeping with a lot of the furniture we have, because we've got a lot of old furniture as well. So yeah, so that's a few things that I would look at when considering a reclaimed door. Alright, I better get sanding. The other thing to think about before I go is, if you do resort to sanding it or using paint stripper, if you're using paint stripper, make sure you do it in a well ventilated area. If you're using sandpaper and sanders, get some kind of mask. This one's got little cartridges in, but because the dust will be quite extensive, especially with a sand in it. So yeah, there we go. I've just noticed as well, this one's got a little nick just on the top of the door there. I'll have to sort that out. So what I might do is, once I'm back to the bare wood all over and I sand it, I'll keep some of the dust, and I'll be able to fill that with a bit of glue and some of the dust to make my own wood filler. Right, okay, so there you go. One partially sanded reclaimed door, and I'll get on with the rest. Okay, thanks for watching.